over here, I hope I don't scare them away, are antelope. See them little fellas? Bye, guys. Thought I could sneak up on them, but they weren't bothered by traffic or anything. Oh well. Well, kids, we are on 89A, or Arizona Alternate 89, and we are heading to Jerome, the clean way. And I say the clean way because the last video I did Jerome, and I'll put a link to it at the end, was the dirty way. We took some forest roads into Jerome, and Jerome's a neat town, been there before on this channel, like I said. We're gonna head in there on this road and do a little bit of exploring. This is a wicked awesome stretch of road. And you probably recognize the number 89 from the White Spars Road, as some people call it, but Arizona 89 that heads between, let's say, Wickenburg and Prescott. So this road is where I usually take off and go on the dirt. You can also get there from Cherry, but that's a little less big bike friendly. If you look up on the ledges here, you can see the ruins of the old mines. And off to our right up there is some tailings piles. This whole mountain here was mined pretty heavily. Going to quick stop here because we're in traffic and there's no pull-off. But over there you can see the road, the dirt road that I took in to Jerome last time I was up here. Entering Jerome. Traffic wasn't too bad. Well, all right. Historic town of Jerome. Pretty cool little town. I won't bore you with a whole bunch of historic information. Might do that someday. We are going to the museum. We'll see if I go inside or not. There's one particular cool factoid thing to visit, roadside attraction type thing that not too many people go to see and aren't even aware of. I'm going to check that out. And we're going to check out a kitschy little kind of roadside attraction, gold mine kind of deal. And that's all pending if they will allow us to film. So a couple of cool opportunities and maybe grab some lunch. Downtown Jerome. It's actually like a couple of streets. It's kind of weird because you got this upper level one and lower level one, and one of them is one way, and they're both on hills. All kinds of places here to stop, eat, buy t-shirts and antiques and art. And that's one of this was pardon my history, but mid-50s this place went down to 100 people from like 30,000 or 25,000, something like that. So it truly is a ghost town. Hippies came in and it became an art community. That's kind of what sustained it. Just couldn't help myself. Right around Halloween every year they have a, I think they call it a ghost tour now or something like that, but they take you through some of the historic houses. You go in town, you park, and they drive you around, and We'll allow you into their homes and show you what they've done to make it look period correct. This road goes around and it's down there, switches back and forth. Even leaving town is pretty nice. State Historic Park, that's where we're going. I know the drift has a hard time with distances, but if you look almost to the top of that hill, there's some yellow, like dry hay up there. I'm not 100% certain, but I'm 99% certain that is a new vineyard, and the lead singer of Tool, and his name is escaping me, owns that. So he's got a little wine company going on up here, trying to boost the economy of this little town, which is pretty cool. He had some type of big opening entrepreneur lecture, back in January or something in Tempe at ASU. So this is State Historic Park, and I believe that's what I came here for. These were all the old mine buildings, and there's actually a museum up here. I think I'll park right here. Well, we're up at, I believe it's Douglas Mansion. It was one of the mine owners' houses. There was corporations and private folks that all own this place at one time or another. And they've turned it into a museum. So I'm going to see if I can get in there and do some filming. If I can, I will bring you along with me. The one thing that I do want to see here is outside, so we won't spend too much time and bore you with a museum. I just want to also show you the spectacular scenery up here. It's a little dusty today. I don't know. I know there's some wildfires going on, so that could be a little bit of it. But awesome place to spend a day. One of the things to also take into view is the beautiful town. The buildings are really cool. I think it rivals Norman Rockwell's Stockbridge. I know because I've been there. I used to live near there. And the ubiquitous town letter on a high point, J for Jerome. Most of the towns, I think it's popular in the Southwest, but especially in Arizona, most of your towns have a little white letter for their town name hanging out somewhere. This is the exterior of the very beautiful mansion. It was all restored. I don't remember if it was, well, I would assume it was the state that restored it, but it had fallen into some disrepair. When I was out here like 18 years ago, it wasn't in too healthy a shape, and I know they'd put a lot of work into bringing this place back to life. This is a picture of Verde Valley that talk about Western movies, and they show horses, but mule teams were all the rage back then. They carried most of the heavy burdens. A pretty cool billiard room that overlooks the valley. Have a little cigar, some scotch, retire to the library. Very cool. Here's a diorama of Jerome. Pretty cool. I always like these little models. This is kind of neat, especially for someone like me who visits remote mine areas and abandoned places like that. Little artifacts like this, you see, actually, your imagination tries to put it together with something else, and they actually put this in to the shape that it was. It's actually part of a steam shovel. If you watch some of my videos, I've been through the Morenci strip mine, and this is copper ore right from that strip mine. Copper is king in Arizona. More exhibits upstairs. Machine drilling. Bigger operations would have used those. Now you may be thinking that we're looking at like some type of DNA helix or something. This is a 3D map of the mines in Jerome. Well, there's some outdoor exhibits out here. I'm gonna just take a poke through. They're mostly all ore cars. It's a dumper type ore car. Obviously ore would go in there. When it got to the top of the head frame, it would tilt forward and dump all the ore out. And this, my friends, is a potty. Hop right up there and do your business. This was, just as it looks, this is how the miners used to get down in the mine. I know you've heard me talk about stamp mills and different processes and stuff, but this right here is a stamp mill. So you would have something run the pulley over there, and it would run these almost like it would look like the cylinders in your engines. These would go up and down, stomp up and down. The ore would get loaded into here, and these big cylinders would smash the ore into smaller chunks so that they could pull the copper or whatever they were looking for out of it. McFarland and Company, Denver, Colorado. So you got the stamp mill, and you find these out in the desert also. This is the earlier version. This is an Arrastra. So you would have a mule or a burro walk around in a circle, and it would drag these posts tied to the rocks, and that would crush the ore so it could be processed. All right, we're going to go to the part of this little area that I was most interested in. And I sure do hope that it comes out on video. Well, as the big giant sign says, we are at the Audrey Headframe Park. Well, this is the largest remaining and maybe the largest wooden headframe, wood structured headframe in Arizona. And to get you down the shaft, they would put you in this little tube and send you down 650 feet. And this was most probably a rescue tube. Below every head frame is a mine shaft. And below this glass is 650 feet down. I'm hoping you guys can see down there. The glass is a little dirty and scuffed. That's a long way down, for sure. What's a little unnerving is the glass creaks when you walk on it. Over here's the machine works for the head frame. The generator and electric motor. That would run the hoistway and the cars and all that. Compressors. Well, our next quarry will be the Gold King Mine. Hopefully they'll let us film there. And I'm only showing you little snippets of what's at these places. I highly recommend you check them out. There's more and more there. Lots. You could spend a whole day at the Douglas Mansion Museum. And the mansion was $7 to get in to all the places, and I think Gold King Mine's like $13 or something. So for around $20 a person, you could spend probably a day and a half here, 2 days, just looking at that stuff. Not to mention the beauty of Jerome itself. What we're going down right now is kind of like the split part of Main Street. So this is kind of like the one-way section that goes on the back side of Main Street. Or the main street. Well, with great roads in a ghost town, Jerome's definitely a motorcycle destination. That's where we're headed, Gold King Mine. Phelps Dodge still has offices up there. Actually, it's Freeport McMoran now, I think. The advertisement for the Gold King Mine said where the pavement ends, the Old West begins. All right, let's go in, shall we? One of the things that you'll notice on this tour is this guy has some classic trucks and cars that are just unbelievable. He restores them, or he was restoring them at one time. Kind of like this old International here. Look at the stacks. $5. So for $12 you get two different experiences. And this one for sure is extra cool. There's absolutely just layers upon layers of everything you could imagine. Front of a stove. That's part of the collection of old trucks down there. I don't like the dentist, but I'm gonna go in. Well, I suppose it's not too bad. It's the painless dentist. Wow, even the chairs don't look comfortable. Kind of a quasi-filling station here. Studebaker Commander. I like what they did with the upholstery. Some old steam shovels up there. Longest running Cummins engine, 1939 Diamond T truck. Wow, a lot of these things do still run. This is not your normal museum experience, and if you're not particularly fond of museums or museums scare you off, come to this place. It's not your normal museum, and it is very cool. There's even some old logging equipment, and one of my favorites is this old hit and miss motor. One cylinder. Looks like this is or was his restoration shop. Working on an old compressor generator there. Wow. 1928 Studebaker Indy race car. If you are a photographer, you would be, you would need probably 4 cameras. There's just so many photo ops here and stuff that's just amazing in the micro and the macro to take pictures of. Everywhere you look. It's a blacksmith shop, and I know that he's used this. You can see that he's modified it to work, and I know that I've heard stories of this guy. I mean, this guy does everything. He can repair anything. Just one of those type of people. And again, just more and more classic trucks. All restored by this guy. I'm not sure if he's still alive. I haven't been here in 18 years. And the restored vehicles were 17 years younger in restoration. But also there was a burro wandering about here somewhere. And I saw the feed bins, but they were locked up. Maybe he's still here somewhere. The last time I was here, that shell truck was perfectly restored. We're gonna go up there and check it out because there's something cool about it. And I'm pretty certain that if you wanted to, with very little care and attention, you could get these things to start up. Especially this one. The aerodynamic truck. What's cool about it is it's a camper. You converted the tanker section into a camper. I'd sure like to do it. Look how that tree's grown right over the bank concrete. Hey little fella, how are you? I don't want to stick my hand in there because I don't want to get bit. Well, like everything else comes to an end. We're going to head out the exit through the gift shop, back on the bike. Well, we're going to jump on and find ourselves some lunch here somewhere. It's kind of a treat for me. I usually don't stop. I usually keep riding. Gold King Mine, that was only about 1/10 of 1%, which was down there. $5. Petting kind of zoo, and it was just for all ages. There's just wild stuff to see, and very nice people who run it. I think I spotted a place over here. I don't know how legal it is to park, but we're going to try parking there anyway. So we got a little alleyway parking spot here, and we're going to go in to the Mile High restaurant. Look at the old-time fans up there. It's pretty cool. Propeller. So they're only serving breakfast right at the moment. It's 11:30, but they're going to try to accommodate me with a burger. Meanwhile, we can take a look around. Well, they weren't able to accommodate me with a hamburger, so I opted for breakfast. But can't beat the ambiance in here. The old tin signs and rustic bar, and view out the window is just incredible. A few minutes we'll be chowing down. Well, little chicken fried steak, some eggs, fries, sourdough bread. Can't beat that for lunch. Well, lunch is over, or breakfast. Get on the bike and head out of town. Yeah, there's the bike. Nobody stole it. Let's pack her up and get going. There we go. Well, that was a pleasant day. Not terribly looking forward to the ride down into 117-degree weather. And as I mentioned, I really only covered a small portion of what was, or what can be seen and what can be done in Jerome. Highly recommend you come here just for your own benefit, and also to patronize these little businesses. I joke about t-shirts and stuff like that, but a lot of times that's what keeps these place is open instead of falling into the ground. Well, I appreciate you watching. That was Jerome, Arizona. Little day there to go in the clean way on the pavement. I encourage you to watch my dirty version, if you will, and I'll put a link at the end here. Also put a link down in the description if that doesn't work for you. I appreciate you watching this video and all my videos, taking the time out of your busy day. Please comment, subscribe, like, and share. Adios.